Hi Leo, welcome back to my channel, Karma Fox. I am doing your weekly reading for the final week of December, moving into January. I hope everybody is doing well. I'm going to take a quick second to remind everyone that this is a general reading. It may not resonate with every Leo out there, so guys, just take what resonates for you, leave the rest for someone else. Keep in mind that the energies can reverse. So if it is resonating, Leo, get in where you fit in. But as always, don't force yourself into a reading that's just not for you. Spirit, can I have the energy of the sign of Leo? All right, Leo, you are starting out with the Two of Pentacles. You have the Emperor in the reverse and the Six of Swords. All right, so you're trying to move forward from something here. It could be a divine partner that you're trying to move forward from, feeling like, you know, it's just a chaotic situation that really spun out of control. And I feel like, you know, as you're making this decision, you're weighing up the pros and cons about it. You've kind of been leaving the door partially open for this person. I do feel like it's a situation, though, that you're dealing with somebody who was trying to control the situation. A situation that really just kind of went out of control and went into a lot of chaos. And there's this desire to move forward. So like I said, you're kind of weighing up the pros and cons about, you know, what you want to do here. Let me see who's in your energy. Show me who is in Leo's energy. All right, we have the Page of Pentacles reversed. We have the Death card, Scorpio energy. And we have the Eight of Swords in the reverse. Yeah, so this is definitely somebody that you've had an ending with after a difficult situation. I do feel like this person really right now is not feeling like they have a lot to offer here. You're likely not talking to this person. I do feel like there was some sort of an established foundation between the two of you at some point, but that it's now ended. And with the Eight of Swords here in the reverse, this is somebody who I do feel like, you know, they have been up in their head. So they may be avoiding communication because they don't want to be feeling the stress and the anxiety. So let me see the energy between Leo and this person. Yeah, the Nine of Swords reversed. Neither of you want the anxiety that's associated with this. I feel like at some point, Leo, you were losing sleep. You were full of anxiety, and they actually were too. So at this point, you're trying to decide, is this even worth it? Is the juice worth the squeeze, basically? Because this person's not really offering you anything. And I feel like you're making a decision to move forward, but you're kind of leaving that door open if they should get their act together. Let me see what's affecting the connection. The Queen of Swords. Yeah, you've put up boundaries. You put up boundaries with this person, and they don't like it. They don't like it. Interesting. There could have been a truthful conversation, but see, you putting up these boundaries has created a lot of change here. And that's part of the reason why this person is kind of avoiding. It's because of the boundaries that you've put up. And they're basically running away from, you know, any kind of boundary that you might be instituting. But you had to, because the situation was out of control. Show me the outcome. Show me the outcome at the end of the week. You could be dealing with a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius energy. All right, we have the Five of Wands, and we have the Empress in the reverse. Very strong Libra energy. Taurus energy is here as well. So in the outcome, I feel like there's conflict here. There is some sort of conflict. And if you actually, I'm not seeing communication, so it's confusing to me why there's conflict here, but we may see it when we go to clarify. Now, there could be some communication that occurs between the two of you, but I also feel like if that's the case, you're going to be very truthful with this person, but keep your boundaries intact. And it definitely will lead to conflict. So there's definitely conflict. You're moving away from all that conflict, but this person is not respectful in the way that they are treating you. See, this person actually doesn't have a good self-esteem themselves. They could be having some financial problems. They're in a poverty mindset. And I do feel like they compare themselves with you in some form here. And I feel like in order to basically, how do I word this? In order to basically not deal with themselves, they treat you in a disrespectful manner. In other words, you know, it's all you. But I do feel like this is somebody who is in a poverty mindset. And if you do communicate with this person, it's likely to lead to some sort of conflict here. Let me see. You're also moving away from this person. If they put you in any kind of competition, you're not having anything to do with that. Yeah, you're definitely not. I have to say that for some of you, this could be a karmic entity because we have the Emperor and the Empress here, and they are both in reverse. And some of you could be questioning that, whether or not you may have thought this was a twin flame, and now you may be questioning whether or not this person is a karmic, and you're very conflicted about that. Let me see. I'm going to clarify. Oh, wait, let's look at the bottom of the deck first. Yeah, the Three of Cups in the reverse. Be careful that you're not isolating yourself, Leo, because this does indicate that you're not really going out with family and friends. You're not being very social. Just be careful with that. It's also indicating that at some point you may have wanted a reconciliation with this person, but now you're not so sure that you do. And if you do, the reconciliation is not showing up right now. Let me see. It's a card, though, of being a little bit unhappy. So just be sure you're not isolating yourself. So, Spirit, why is the Two of Pentacles here for Leo? Why is this Two of Pentacles here for Leo? Yeah, there's that stuck energy. Usually your energy kind of flows pretty quickly. All right, Seven of Swords reverse and the Ten of Pentacles reverse. There's that ending. There's definitely been a lot of loss here, but there was dishonesty too. And whatever it was, this person may have been lying, cheating, stealing. You don't trust them anymore. There's definitely some dishonest energy here. And I feel like one of the most painful things for you, Leo, was losing the trust that you had in this person. Losing that sense of stability that you had with this person. There was at some point some sense of stability. And so that's what's making it so difficult for you to just totally walk away. And so I do think that's probably why you're kind of keeping that door open. Why is the Emperor here in reverse? Yeah, the Emperor. And then the Four of Cups reverse. So like I said, some of you are trying to decide, you know, whether or not this person is a divine partner. You're kind of going back and forth. You're conflicted about it. But you're also looking at the fact that this person didn't treat you properly. Now, a lot of you are hoping that this person really gets their act together, that they pull it together and that they, you know, kind of step into their power and, you know, start accepting the love that you have and treating you appropriately in the process. But until they do, you're gonna keep that sword up. You're not going to just let this person come in and wreck your heart again. You know, here's the thing, Leo, is that you're seeing the best in them, and yet they're showing you the worst, and you're having to acknowledge that. And that's hard. That's very difficult. When you can see the very best in someone and they're giving you the very worst, that's a difficult situation to be in. I do feel like the more you try not to think about this person, the more you do. And there's still this hope here that this person will get their act together, but more and more you're starting to feel like this is a missed opportunity. Let me see why the Six of Swords is here. All right, Four of Wands reversed and the Devil in reverse. Again, it's that same energy. I will end this and I will move on before I will deal with this toxic energy anymore. I will not be placed in competition with anyone else. There's a lack of trust here. There's been a deep sense of loss. What's really causing you to kind of keep that door just a little bit open is because you have seen the good in this person. But at some point, Leo, you have to acknowledge who they are showing you now. Let's look at their energy. Why is the Page of Pentacles in the reverse? Queen of Wands reverse, Page of Pentacles reverse. This person is extremely immature. I feel like they speak and they act without really knowing everything. They're not currently talking and there's currently no action. This person is actually a little bitter right now. They're having a difficult time. Their money could be affected. And I definitely feel like they're in this energy where they're not speaking and they're not doing. And it's an avoidant energy. Why is the Death card here? They may also be trying to blame you for what's going on. Let me try that again. Yeah, there's this energy that they're trying to say, oh, well, I'm gonna stay away from Leo because, you know, Leo's not talking to me, and Leo could call me, and Leo could come see me, and so it's all you, it's not them. They're very immature. Why is the Death card here? All right, we have the Ace of Wands. We have the Three of Coins. This person is trying to work on their stability. Like I said, I feel like they may be having some financial issues here, but they're definitely trying to stabilize themselves. So they're focusing themselves on work. This connection, you may have known this person through work or something to do with work, but I do feel like this person may have moved towards another connection, or they want to transform this one. Let me see why. I'm going to check that Ace of Wands. Give me one more card for this Death card, Ace of Wands. Yeah, they're selfish. They're selfish. They're not really investing in the connection. They may be coming in looking for sex. So be careful with that. This person is really only considering what it is that they want. And they're basically holding you accountable for the connection ending. Yeah, I do feel like this person is working a lot. Their money is not where they want it to be. It could be that they've had some bad investments. But this person is really selfish. With this Ace of Wands, if they're coming in, they may be trying to come in and establish a physical connection without actually investing in the connection emotionally. So be really careful with that. Yeah, be really careful with that. Let me look at the Eight of Swords in the reverse. We have that Death card again, and we have the Five of Swords. So I definitely feel like this person is avoiding. They're very disrespectful. And if you do hear from them or you do contact them, it's going to lead to conflict. Because this person basically is saying everything ended because of you. It's all you. They're in a very selfish energy right now. A lot of them are very much so in their ego as well. This person doesn't fight fair. So I get almost this feeling like this person is holding back, thinking you're going to come towards them. But I feel like even if you do, they're going to be very nasty towards you. Let me see the energy between Leo and this person. Page of Swords. They're spying on you. Six of Swords reversed. And the Magician in the reverse. Yeah, you've been very hesitant to move on from this person, but I feel like that's beginning to shift for you. And why? Well, because it's not manifesting the way you had thought. And you're also viewing this person as being sneaky and manipulative. So that's why your boundaries are up. And I feel like that didn't really appear until, at least you didn't see it. Maybe it appeared, but you didn't really see it until the ending of this connection. So in their energy, they are spying on you, but both of you are kind of acting like, you know, it doesn't matter. Like neither of you are, you know, acting like it's bothering you, although I do think it's bothering both of you, because this person's not going to be checking up on you if they, you know, aren't bothered. They've definitely been holding back. They could reach out, but it might be a little bit of a nasty text or something like that. So be careful. There's definitely stuck energy. Neither of you have fully moved on. I do feel like this person may have taken up with somebody else at some point that didn't work out. Let me see why this Queen of Swords is here. The Lovers and the Ace of Swords reversed. You feel that this person is a soulmate. Like I said, some of you are going back and forth, kind of wondering if this person is a karmic or a divine partner. But I definitely feel like this, if you are going to move on from this person, this is a major event in your life. It's not like, this is a major relationship. This is not something that is just someone you just met or, you know, very simple. This is a big decision that you're trying to make. You're trying to take charge of your life here. You're trying to move forward, and this is huge for you. Putting up these boundaries has been very, very big for you as well. So I feel like the more you put up these boundaries, the more this person kind of clams up. See, they're not bringing any clarity towards you. They're not trying to invest in the connection. When they do try to come in, it's in a selfish way and likely very sexual. Ever since this ending. It wasn't always that way, though. At some point, there was a solid foundation, and it was very painful for you when that ended. It was a deep loss. So I feel like this person is sitting in the background. I feel like they're spying on you. They haven't fully moved on. They're looking at your social media, or if you live close to each other, they might watch your goings and comings, but they're not actually talking. And they're not trying to, if you do reach out to them, they're not trying to give you any clarity in the situation either. They're definitely in their ego. Let me see the outcome. Show me the outcome. I don't like how that fell, so we're going to try that again. Show me the outcome for Leo. There it is. All right, we have the Six of Wands reversed. Ooh, the Page of Cups. You got somebody new coming in, and the King of Cups. So you know the worst thing about this is that this person actually does love you. They really do. But they are so full of themselves and in their ego that they can't get out of their own way. So what I'm seeing here is that at the end of the day, because this person is not going to bring in the clarity, not going to come and talk with you in a truthful manner, your guard is going to be up. You're going to put up those boundaries. This has been huge for you, but I feel like you are going to move forward because you're tired of the chaos. You're tired of the deceit. And so I do feel like you are actually going to, you're very conflicted about it, but you're actually saying to yourself, I am not dealing with this toxic energy anymore. It's not been successful. This person has, you know, done nothing but bring arguments to me. They've put me in competition with other people. They're toxic as hell, and I'm just not doing it anymore. But it's not like you did this lately, Leo. Now, at the point that you do that, you have somebody new coming into your energy. Yep, you do. So you're going to be the one who'll have a choice between this person and somebody new. But I do feel like it's been a long, rough road. And I do feel like it's going to take you moving forward before that space is going to open up for this new person. Now, in this person's energy, I do feel like if there is any communication, it will likely be, you know, initiated by you. I feel like this person's going to be nasty with it. And here's the thing is that they do love you. Now, you could be dealing with an Aries, another Leo, or a Sagittarius. You could also be dealing with a Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. But here's the deal, is that this person, even though they love you, they're sabotaging this connection out of ego. Out of ego. And avoidance. It just beats all I've ever seen, but they actually really do love you. And they're definitely keeping an eye on you. So, bottom of the deck is a 9 of Wands in the reverse. That's underlying energy, and it does indicate that, you know, you're tired. You're exhausted. This person has really put you through it. I feel like you have a lack of trust. You're tired of dealing with the toxic energy. You've been unhappy for quite some time. I also feel like you were hoping for a reconciliation for a long time, and now you're like, no, I have to resolve this for myself. I have to overcome this. So it's been a rough ride, but I'm telling you, Leo, when you get to the point where you do, you know, move on and move towards peace, you have someone new coming in. So let me see if there's any advice in the oracles for you, Leo. Pulling for Leo. All right, Leo, you have number 20. It says you don't need it all figured out. It's the gifted guide. And it's talking about stars, chaos, and opportunity. So let me read that for you. Give me just one moment. All right, so your affirmation is, I embrace uncertainty. Luck is on my side. Let the magic mushroom be your guide and lucky charm at this time. Allow him to show you a more surrendered way of life. He invites you to embrace chaos, uncertainty, and the unknown, to stop controlling things so much and let go, to lean into fluidity instead of strategy at this time. The universe is on your side more than you believe. He speaks to you. Oh, silly human, don't you see? You don't need it all figured out. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. Nobody has all the answers, and that's the fun part. You're not supposed to. That would make life terribly boring and painfully uninteresting. To know exactly what to do, where to go, when to do it, and who to be in all moments, that would suffocate the magic and excitement of life. What would be the point then? The adventure is in the uncertainty. It is not your enemy, it is your friend. He visits you to offer a splendid gift, the gift of luck, opportunity, and possibilities within new and uncertain spaces that you could not see before. Accept his offering and ease the tension and control you have in certain areas of your life. Sometimes letting things be free allows them to turn into the powerful, soulful, wild things they are. This goes for us as well. Most things seek to be trusted and free. Pulling the gifted guide card can be an omen that there is something you've been trying to figure out that you don't need to. Let it go and move forward. It will unfold as it's meant to. This card can also be a sign to stop comparing your journey with those of others, as if you feel behind or everyone knows something you don't. It's untrue. Most people play pretend in this cosmic game of life. You don't need a master plan or to know exactly what to do. Just take a step and set intentions. Luck is on your side. All right, I hope this has been helpful for you, Leo. If you resonated with this reading, hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. Hype the video if you get the opportunity. And until I see you in your next reading, Leo, know that you are loved, and namaste.